Good evening and welcome to Between Two Wheels, where we talk about all things on and between two wheels. I'm your host, Johnny Roadblock, and tonight's show is being brought to you by Hometown Hero CBD, our favorite source for that Delta 8 Zen. Use code B2W10 and get 10% off your first order and help Project Clean Slate reach new heights. Now, there's more to my intro, but I don't think I should get into it yet because we are having technical difficulties. And instead of just holding out and waiting, keeping y'all in the dark, I decided to go ahead and take us live so y'all can see the behind the scenes of what goes into all of this.
Yeah, it's not easy.
There we go. We have Doc. We have half of Ace. We're playing with like a 5-minute delay in audio, but you know, live streams are fun for that reason.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah, there's still a delay because they haven't heard us talking live. But
we're live, by the way.
We can hear you.
Great, because we're live. So can the interwebs.
Yay!
So, tonight on Between Two Wheels, kicking off 2021 strong with technical difficulties, and our first two-wheeled live of the year. We have with us the OG co-founders of the Litas Dallas, all around badass people, and possibly armpit sniffers, Doc and Ace.
Armpit sniffers.
We will be hearing that story. There's pictures and video, so it did happen. You don't see Uncle Ken with me tonight. That is because he decided to take that union mandated PTO and he's enjoying a few weeks off. Whatever, you know, that's
good for
must
him.
Be nice to be labor and not management. But
hopefully he's
back
out riding a motorcycle.
He's moving. He and the family bought a new house.
So lame. Lame.
Which is
motorcycles will be moved.
Which is why we're here and not helping them.
But also, a ton of people have been asking for me to bring Tracy back on. So just Tracy is back on with me because I can't do the show alone.
I mean, he could.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey.
So
yeah, delay. It's fun.
Let's play the delay. So Doc, we'll start with you. Tell us which one of you is Doc, where you're from, what you ride, all of those good things.
Okay, I'm Doc. I was born and raised in Dallas. And I've been lucky to kind of live and work all over the world, but I am back in the DFW for good now. And I ride a 2012 Dyna Switchback at the moment.
Okay. Awesome. And Ace, tell us about you.
Hey, what's up? I'm Ace, born in Cincinnati, and I live in the Colony. We're actually neighbors. Are you trying to fix that there? Sorry, we're still working some technical difficulties.
Trying to fix it for you.
My current ride, Stud Muffins, a 2019 Road King Special.
Nice.
And he is daddy.
You're teeing me up way too easy here. I'm going to leave the low-hanging fruit alone. So, the OG
Sorry, we had another thing in front of us. And it's like, what are we focusing on now? It's very complicated.
So, tell us about what does the OG co-founders of the Litas Dallas mean? Because I saw a lot of comments when we posted out the advertisement for this. Are there other co-founders that are like new co-founders? How does that work?
Yeah, so I think the terminology is kind of complicated. Organization. The original branch was founded in 2015 with Jessica Haggett. And then we brought the Litas to Texas in 2016. We founded the Litas Dallas. I think there had been a couple of iterations of Litas groups in Houston and Austin, and nothing that really stuck so far at that time. So we're like the oldest continuously operating. But they never had another word for if somebody retired and you got somebody to replace that person. So a founder is the same as like a president in other clubs, except we usually have at least 2 or 3 of them, sometimes 4, depending on how big the group or the branch is. And we're basically just the admins. You know, we don't have a hierarchy like a club does. People volunteer. We let them know what jobs need to be done, and people will step up and get it done. So, and we have another founder who came on this last year, and her name is Ginger. So shout out to Ginger. She does lots of good work. She's the first encounter most people are going to have with the Litas Dallas, because she does our new memberships.
And she's really nice.
Super nice. Nicer than we are. We're not known for really nice, but
y'all not being known for being nice is kind of the reason you're on this show. So
okay.
it's a win-win. So that's kind of cool.
I think we're nice. We're just maybe not friendly, or not as friendly as Ginger is. Everybody's Ginger's best friend, so she's really great for that.
Ginger is super friendly.
Yeah.
So I see the Litas as kind of being the, let's say, the reality of what Ladies of Harley tried to be. So y'all took that kind of model and just created something that turned out to be amazing. Do y'all see a lot of the parallels between Ladies of Harley from Hog and what the Litas are about?
Well, I think the first big one is that we actually ride our own motorcycles. So a lot of those women's don't they ride as a passenger? I think some of them ride their own. So that's the first big one.
They can do both. They can be both.
They do both. Yeah.
You know, possibly I
don't know a lot about them.
I don't know a lot about the Ladies of Harley and how they originally tried to be. I know for us, not being like a club per se, like we provide a space for women who ride motorcycles to meet each other so that they can find who their friends are that live close, and they can go ride and have adventures and have a good time. So we provide 1 ride per month and 1 meet and greet per month. In the summertime, usually when things are more busy and we've got time, we'll do more of the actual like branch sponsored events. But we really encourage the girls to get involved and for the girls to set up events, and we'll, you know, support those and go on their rides. And so it's not so much Ace and I, you know, in charge of everything, but it's more like providing a space for the girls to meet each other, and then, you know, to take ownership of the group to set up their own events and rides and as well.
Another big thing too is that group is exclusive to Harley riders. And the most beautiful thing about the Litas is that it's inclusive. Like
all bikes.
If you're on 2 wheels, you fit in. Get in where you fit in. It's kind of like it takes the pressure out of having something in common with someone to start a conversation. It's like, you ride, I ride, look at us, now we're best friends kind of thing. So a lot of people have met their best friends because of the Litas, where as a Hog group, you would just automatically be excluded if you were on like a Honda or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't join with them.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's brand agnostic. It's also motorcycle type agnostic, where if someone shows up on a Can-Am Spider or a Riker, y'all aren't going to shame them or look down on them like the typical Hog chapter might.
Right.
Right. we're just we want women to come that want to ride, motorcycles or whatever. We don't care what you ride. We're just excited that you want to ride and come ride with us.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put the Litas on hold for a second. This is more about Doc and Ace. So I want to get to know y'all. Where did y'all meet? And where did y'all kind of come together and see that y'all have this same passion for motorcycles?
We actually met online, and it was on a forum of girls that were looking to start something, motorcycle group in their area. So that's how we first met. And our two other original founders that we have to say their name, we can't leave them out, but Lydia Hernandez and
Heather Thornton.
Yeah. Where we all met together one night and decided that we wanted to start a branch. And we had the support of Texas Harley Davidson, all the females that worked there at the time, whether they were in sales or motor clothes, parts, whatever, they came over and attended our first meeting with us.
Yeah,
Very cool.
It was badass. But without social media, that wouldn't have been a thing. I know when I first started riding, I had never heard of the Litas. All I knew is like, I'm on a motorcycle. Like, where are the girls at? Because, it's a sausage fest and all the guys are like, oh, look at Chicky rides. And yeah, whatever. That's cool. Where are the babes? I know there's other women that ride. And I had never heard of the Litas until I went to Babes Ride Out in Joshua Tree, California, and met some of the Orange County and San Diego Litas there. And so when I came back and found myself in that forum, and Doc lives like 2 miles down the road, and we just like instantly connected. So it's we've been basically
best friends,
switchblade sisters since then.
Yeah.
How long?
So, and then eventually Lydia ended up having to leave the group, and Heather, things happened and she left. And so we've had other girls that have kind of filled their shoes in the meantime.
Very cool.
So we have a comment from Michelle Craig. I met some of the best, amazing women because of the Litas.
Or are we on a door?
Oh, do we lose them?
I love delays.
There they are.
Yeah, I would say we're, for the most part, when you come and join and ride with the Litas, you're going to find some women that you really connect with. And, not everybody gets along, it's like anywhere, but I know a lot of people who have met their like best friends, their soul sisters because of the Litas. And I know that I've built friendships that are like legitimate friendships where like we've been through some shit together that doesn't have anything to do with motorcycles, and we're still there for each other. So yeah, what she said, Michelle, she's badass. We love her. She's going to host a tattoo night for us in April.
Yes.
So we're not those details though.
She's part owner.
Sweet. So how long have y'all been riding together kind of full time?
4 years.
A little over.
A little over 4 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
basically, I met her right after I got licensed. I got my license in July, took that trip to Babes Ride Out in October, and then we founded the Litas Dallas in November. So it wasn't very long after that. 2016.
2016, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like Tracy and my courtship from the time we started dating to the time I proposed, about the same time.
He didn't propose. It was just assumed. Of course we're getting married. Duh. But
like, are we doing this?
Yeah, just move in, tax write-off. It's fine.
Okay, so
and look at you, you're still alive.
What was your first motorcycle? We'll start with Doc.
My very first motorcycle. Is that the question?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 10 years old, I had a Yamaha 110, and I rode it for 4 years. I rode the shit out of that little Yamaha 110.
Ace, your first bike?
A 2008 Honda Shadow 750, the Ace edition. Lo and behold, I got nicknamed Ace. So
Okay, cool.
That's very cool.
So, Ace, you're on a Road King special. So that's what Tracy rides.
Mhm.
And Doc, you're on
yeah?
the Switchback, which is what
Mhm.
Tracy wanted
Yeah.
before she got into the Softails.
Mhm. Yeah. So I'm like, I know
Yeah,
exactly what
it's got that Road King front end,
Yeah, true.
It's got. I consider it like a Dyna Road King.
Yeah, and I was on a Dyna before I had a Road King. So yeah.
I have deep love for Dynas. My Instagram handle is still Ace and Beans. Beans was my 2010 Street Bob. I love Dynas, but that bike was trying to murder me, so it had to go.
I hear you. I had a Street Bob too. That's funny.
Somebody cursed that fucking bike.
See, Tracy's Dyna Street Bob tried to kill me. And then my former co-host, Justin, his Dyna Street Bob tried to kill me as well.
I think there's I think it's all you.
Dynas have it out for him.
I think so.
I've talked way too much crap about Dyna Bros, and it's just their way of paying me back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So some of the other questions we like to ask is some of your favorite rides. And I personally want to pick out one ride that I'm pretty sure both of y'all were on, and that was the trip out to Carlsbad. Can y'all kind of go into that? So can you tell us about that trip and some of the stuff that... So can you tell me some of the experiences that you saw while you're out at Carlsbad and why some of our listeners, viewers should go and check out Carlsbad?
Well, go in October because the bats migrate and have an opportunity to ride up into the Guadalupe Mountain. And there's this giant amphitheater that has you look in the mouth of this cavern. And you've got like a ranger standing there talking to you, talking about how many bats and their migration patterns and all this stuff, which is like, yeah, that's all cool, great, informative. But like behind him, you hear like this crinkling, like rustling of paper or something. And it's these bats starting to move in this giant cave. And the next thing he tells you is, all right, don't talk, don't use your cell phones or anything like that. And then he sits down and then you get this smell like, I can't even describe it. It's not gross, but it's like an ancient smell that just like comes up and hits you in the face. And the next thing you know, there's like 5 million bats or something that fly like right over your head. And you're just like, when you think that they have to be finished, they're not. They just keep coming. It's wild. Absolutely wild. I would say if you're riding, watch for those wind gusts. They are wild in the Guadalupe Mountains. They were so bad that the two girls that I was with, Bree and Bree, hey girls, hope you're listening. We ended up pitching our tent like basically in the middle of the road because it was so dark and the wind gusts were so insane. Like we just kind of gave up and just pitched our tent like in the middle of the campground road for the night and slept on rocks. But I imagine that if you did that properly and timed it properly, you could probably set up like a really dope camp and ride back up there and it would be a much more fun experience for the evening. I always find myself in moto camping experiences that are pretty wild. I know several of my friends could probably tell you some crazy ass stories from moto camping, and that whole ride out there was wild.
Yeah.
But yeah. The bats.
Yeah.
Go see the bats.
The bats of Carlsbad. Okay. Doc, let's hear a similar story.
A similar story for me. Well, the ride we took this summer is the freshest on my mind, and it was Ace and Ginger and I. And the coolest experience for me of that whole trip was one night we had left Charleston, West Virginia, and had to get to was it Lafayette, West Virginia? Anyway, we had
mountain
to
ride in the dark.
Yes,
oh, fuck, bro,
it was only like 37 miles or something. It didn't seem
it felt like forever.
But it was like it was freezing. It was pitch black in these mountains, and we could hear rushing water.
It was also foggy.
Super foggy. Like we couldn't see in front of us.
Couldn't see shit.
And
I did see a black bear. Don't forget that.
There was, we saw a bear. There was some
fucking
deer jump out in front of us. Like it was just the most, and not like hearing all the water and not being able to see it and know like where it was, and knowing that there's like cliffs we could go off of. It was just like, by the time we got to the hotel that night, I mean, we were cheering and high-fiving at the end when we got there.
We couldn't believe we made it.
Yeah, but the next day we went and rode it to see what was there, and we were just amazed that we were doing that. And like, I mean, the fog was so dense, we literally, it wasn't, 3-4 feet in front of us that we could see, and in the cold and the dark, and we were just amazed that that's where we had been, because we were in that area right by New River Gorge Bridge, if you know where that is, ever seen it. But it's dense forest, and there's waterfalls that pop out of nowhere, and there's the roads are very narrow and beautiful, winding area.
Yeah,
but
it turns out the rushing water was actually a cathedral falls.
Yeah.
It was that giant waterfall. That's the rushing water that we were riding through with the mist that you couldn't see in front of us, and that was terrifying. The next day we're like, I can't believe we did that shit at night with the fog and the bear and the wildlife in the dark, and it's like this, and there's no guardrails. Like we weren't like,
oh, wow,
I don't know. We got there.
It was a good. We're naive and didn't really know where we were.
If we would have like really known where we were, I think we would have psyched ourselves out pretty bad. But we were still on a high from eating dinner in downtown, and we met some pretty cool people. And what city was that?
Charleston,
West Virginia. We ate dinner downtown and met some like really cool people with a creepy rape basement. I was like, let me take my pistol down to the rape basement. But we ended up having like a really good time there. So I think we're still on like a rider's high from that. That got us to that hotel. But we got there and we're like, can you believe we just fucking did that and didn't die? Yeah, that was that rushing water was
pretty awesome.
Fucking waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for all of those just tuning in to tonight's episode for the first time, if you have any issues with foul language, go ahead and don't subscribe. But please hit that like button. Anyways, that does help us.
No.
Y'all are fine. Uncle Ken gets us demonetized.
Did I tell you my 8-year-old is the president of the Cuss Club?
Hey, we're members of the Cuss Club, so
we are.
We have permission.
There you go. There you go. So let's talk about your most scariest
that wasn't
event on a motorcycle.
No.
Scariest event on a motorcycle.
Mine was getting hit by a semi-truck tire and having to be care flighted. That was pretty fucking scary.
Oh, man.
That still sticks with me. I still hate semi-trucks, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's like,
I was going to think my scariest motorcycle events were Ace's 2 accidents.
Oh yeah, another dude T-boned me.
Oh God.
Probably a hard number 2. Both of those were on the Dyna that was trying to kill me.
Yeah.
So you see why now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So love hate.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, the scariest thing, this is going to sound so stupid, but the scariest time for me ever on a motorcycle where I thought I might die was in my own garage. I got trapped under.
That's a legit
trapped under a bike that didn't have like crash bars, and I was screaming for help. Yeah, and I was
that was a few years ago.
I was trapped for like 9 minutes, and finally, yes, it was horrible. See, I was timing it because, being in the medical field, I knew what was happening. I was like, okay, the circulation is cut off to my ankle, and it's going to be this long before they have to amputate. It was just, it was terrifying.
Oh my God.
So Doc is an educated WebMD, so she's going through everything as she's watching her ankle swell up. So to help you guys out, my scariest event on a motorcycle, actually, it involved me, but it wasn't me I wasn't the one that scared me. It was seeing Tracy on the highway down with her bike, just doing all kinds of crazy tricks. And I'm just hobbling down the ramp to get to her and just making sure she's okay and seeing her being put on a stretcher. That was the scariest event for me.
Aw.
Well,
Aren't you adorable? You always have to bring up that wreck all the time. I'm like, he can't just let it go. I'm like, I'm a better rider than that one wreck.
I mean, I think it's a thing, right? Like if you ride long enough, it's kind of inevitable that something's going to happen. I mean, I really hope that no one who's ever had an accident ever has one. That would be amazing. But I do think like if you put enough miles on, eventually something, whether it's you or your bike malfunctions, or I mean, like in the case of me, we're passing a semi truck and the fucking tire exploded. Like, how was I supposed to predict that? You know, like shit happens. And if you're on your bike long enough miles, like inevitably some crazy shit's going to end up happening to you. Was I supposed to be cussing?
Were we supposed to stop cussing?
You can cuss. It's fine.
You're fine.
Because it's not.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Get your bleeper ready.
Oh no, we're live, honey.
We're live. Well, actually, with the delay that's happening right now, I could probably have an air horn just in case.
No, don't. Really. Don't.
Just bleep over all my fucks with fuck. A louder, more aggressive fuck.
First, I want to do a shout out to Brady for helping us out. He goes by the Fat Man. He's always on the chat. He's part of our Discord for Bike and Bird. Just all around awesome dude. So thank you for letting Doc and Ace use your studio and all of that. So thank you for that.
You'll recognize him with the Support Your Local Litas tee. We brought him.
Nice.
We were trying to find.
He's hiding. Oh, hey, Brady.
But so let's move into some more of the fun aspects of riding. Tell us about your favorite motorcycle. What if you didn't have to worry about any kind of money? And yes, I know folks who typically listen to our interviews, this is the anti-shade tree surgeon question. But since we have two folks here, I want to be able to get plenty of time for these. So, Ace, money not an option. It's gonna be given to you. What bike is it?
I'm gonna stick with Stud Muffin. I'm kind of madly in love with him and never want him to leave. Sorry, I've been on plenty. Like, look how bored he looks with it.
No,
I mean, that's right. I've ridden a lot of bikes, and he starts right up. And man, I call him my minivan. We've had a picnic on that fucking thing on the back. You know, I've got my giant saddlebags. It's like a huge trunk. I could fit all my friends in there. Picnic lunch, a case of beer. We took a trip for 10 days. I only had to bring one backpack. Like, it's like the family van, but no one's touching me. So it's great. And I honestly think that that's going to be my forever bike. And and it's my fourth one. I've been through some bikes, you know.
Man, this one's really hard for me because in my mind, I have like a bike for different purposes and things that I want. And I'm also like, long distance riding is my favorite thing to do, but my favorite bikes are not made for long distance riding. And ever since I was a kid, I've loved choppers, and I love choppers and bobbers and like customized bikes that are flashy and have cool paint jobs and all the bells and whistles that that suck to ride.
Same.
I love how they look. But as far as just like a bike that I could take and do the kind of trips I want with, oh my God, I think I'm going to have to go with one of those really ugly BMW adventure bikes.
They're so ugly, but you're badass.
Because I want to go everywhere. I was so jealous the last time I was riding down in Big Bend, and it's beautiful and going on the paved roads to the state park, but you see those adventure dudes just, veer off down a trail and can go see shit that I can't go see. And I want to go there on a bike, especially because I don't really like to walk. I'd rather go on something with a motor.
I'm a fan of the vibration.
It's your battery operated buddy. It's your
That's why it's called
Bob.
a Bob. Yeah.
Now I know why I miss the Dyna.
That's what the Dynas.
Yes. And see, Harley
Dyna is a
just
cool
completely.
That bare bones seat on it. I was like, how can you ride on that seat for so long? I'm like, how can I not?
I've got a
Love it.
Lapera seat on mine.
Harley Davidson missed out on a perfect marketing opportunity with the Bob.
Dyna, girl's best friend. Yes, they missed
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't keep it in your drawer. You keep it in the garage. There's so much.
it. Yeah.
But Ace, I'm with you on that too, because I love my special. His name is Edris because he's black and sexy. But I just love that bike. So yeah, I'm right there with you. It's a great bike.
So
Yeah, we literally call it my minivan.
Yeah.
So do y'all have husbands or boyfriends that y'all ride with today?
I have a boyfriend, but we're not riding today. Mainly because I ate mushrooms, but oh.
There you go. Oh,
It is weird doing sober January. So we substituted.
Well, it's sober meaning no alcohol.
Right.
Right.
We're keeping it organic.
HometownHeroesCBD.com. Use discount code B2W10 for 10% off your first order to get that Delta 8 Zen.
There you go.
Okay. So I would like to get y'all's opinion on electric motorcycles. Have y'all had an opportunity to test ride any of them? What do y'all think?
You can have the same opinion. My daughter has an electric motorcycle. My 8-year-old, that is, a little one. I don't mean like a live wire. I personally, I think they're cool. I don't have any. I love cruisers and choppers and all the old school biker stuff, but I have no problems with progress. And I love the idea of bikes that aren't dependent on fossil fuels. And I think the idea of having a bike that if you had 2 batteries and you put one in and one of them is charging while you ride and then you keep swapping them out and you could just go forever like that, that would be cool. Why aren't they inventing that?
Yeah.
I would have to pee.
You can stop and pee, but
any battery needed. Where you needed any battery, I'd be like, bladder break.
Yeah.
Find a bush.
Yeah.
I think all motorcycles are fucking cool. And some motorcycles are more cool than others. And on my cool scale, they're like a 3. They don't look very cool, but I know they're fast as fuck. So people who really like to go super fast, hop on one of those electric bikes. But I don't think that aside from like a test ride, you're gonna see me riding one of them because.
Dude, if I lived in like a downtown or something, especially where I needed to be like quiet and I could just ride on, I'll hop on an electric bike. I don't mind.
It freaks me out that they're silent. Like motorcycles should be like really noisy. Like you know?
I bet they'll create like add-ons. You can put something like fake noise, and when you started it, like you know, like that would be really cool.
Well, you need to have like a fun mode switch for the sound. And then
it's less cool.
Like stealth
science
getaway
it's all right.
noise, you know, so then you can shut off all the noise, get away from the cops real quick, and then you can flip it back into fun mode when you start doing your wheelies out into the sunset.
Stage 4, but that's just me.
So that brings me into my next line of questions. What have you done to the bike outside of your long distance touring stuff? What type of performance goodies and all that?
Mine is stone cold stock, and I'm leaving it that way so it doesn't leak because I want to ride it and not fix it. And my dyno, we did a bunch to it, and it was always fucking broken and leaking and had a puddle. And I'm like, this
is true. It did that.
I spent way more time working on my bike than riding it. And, you know, like I have a freaking 114. Like, how much faster do I need to go? Like, at what point am I proving to people? Like, oh, wow, you're going faster than me. You're so cool.
Most of the changes done to my bike are cosmetic, but there's been the stage 2 intake work done on it. I've got D&D Fat Cat exhaust, and I put new bars. I got a custom Litas seat, you know, that's really flashy looking.
Mine's stock.
Good. I mean, for me, the
45 other items.
Yeah.
My Litas seat has a special little nub sewn into it right in the middle. Yeah, I get you. I'm right there.
Oh, Lord.
Vibration. Now you're talking.
Yeah,
Litas seat. Shout out to you. Can we get a custom seat with that vibrator built in? Max has a vibrator, but it's aftermarket. He built that into his seat, but Litas needs to jump on board with that.
Litas can make a lot of money with that, probably.
Yeah, women riders are like 30% of the market nowadays.
Oh, and hey, any Litas listening, we do get on Litas and low for free.
I'm going to need you to say
the
that.
nub is not free. You got to request that extra.
Yeah, I think you have to pull the fabric back.
That's an aftermarket thing.
Yeah, it's 2 aftermarkets.
Found at your custom seat upholsterer near you. Okay.
Oh, we got an upholsterer that I bet can do that.
Krista could probably do
Krista,
that.
shout out Krista.
And she loves big vibrators too, so that would actually be the perfect, you know, job for her to do on the side.
Wow, you just told all her business right
there. So
giant vibrator.
So either the male percentage of my viewers are going to skyrocket from that comment, or the female number of viewers are going to skyrocket to that comment. So thank you. I do appreciate that. Much love. What is the perfect ride for you? You know, what is your bucket list ultimate ride?
Motorcycle ride. Right?
As long as it's a motorcycle, right?
It's not that kind of show, folks. It's not that kind of show.
Go ahead.
I mean,
what the question is, what's the perfect kind of ride?
Yeah, what's your dream bucket list ride?
Oh man, damn. We have a dream that we're gonna win the lottery and just travel on motorcycles, but I really, really, really want to ride Australia, and I've got a friend in Tasmania that I want to like throw the bike on the ferry and go over to Tasmania and ride all over there. That's like probably top of the list. But before I even leave the United States, I want to make sure that I like do all of the rides in the US. So I'm a big fan of like Butler maps. They're a windproof, tearproof, waterproof map. And they've got like all the best rides in each state mapped out. I use them every time we go on a ride anywhere in the state. I'll whip that bad boy out, find the coolest rides, and that's what we go do. So, before I left the country, I want to do like all of those rides off Butler maps in the country.
Yeah. And I think we worked together as a team like that. When we did our vacation, like I planned out our all the states and where we were going to go, and Ace planned out the rides within those like nations. She's also our captain for our Litas rides for Litas Dallas. But my favorite kind of riding is long distance riding, and I want to do the same thing as her pretty much. As I'd love to just ride all over the United States, see all the cool shit there is to do here. I definitely want to ride to Alaska. I definitely want to go to Banff and other places up through Canada. But I also really want to do like some riding in Scandinavia. I lived in Sweden for a few years, and I'd like to ride in Norway and Sweden.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah.
Shit. Vikings don't exist anymore. They wear skinny jeans now.
So, Jesus. Okay. As a healthcare professional,
Johnny Roadblock's face.
as a healthcare professional, Doc, can you confirm for our audience that riding your motorcycle is sound social distancing practices?
Absolutely.
It is. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's the most fun you can have and still be safe.
Love it.
See,
With your clothes
now-
on, right? If your clothes on, you're not being safe if your clothes are off. Never
No,
mind.
I think if you go to the bar, that's what they're saying is if you go to the bar, then you're really close to somebody. But I guess if you're naked, then you're also very close to somebody.
You're not naked on your motorcycle.
Some people are naked on their motorcycles. Have you been to an
Yeah.
adult rally?
Safety first. Come on.
I would not want to do that.
Be naked under your gear and full face helmet, people.
And you're socially distanced. Good to go.
There you go.
Kick in the face.
Safety third, y'all. Safety
Is that
third.
medical advice you wanted?
She's who I
So-
go to for all my medical advice. My closest
Yeah.
friends know exactly what I'm talking about.
So Doc may not be Dr. Fauci, but she is still a healthcare professional, and she's on the internet, and you can't lie on the internet.
True.
You heard that first on the internet. So
No lies on the internet.
yeah, exactly.
Never.
That's why fake news doesn't exist. But what type of rides? Do you have any big rides coming up for this summer?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yes.
We are going to the Southwest Quest 2 in Durango, Colorado.
Mhm.
And that is an all-female rally. And it's the second week in June. And so, yeah, we're already planning for that.
We're also going to go to Yeehaw, which is a moto camp out for girls down in Splendora City. And the Houston Litas are putting that on. So we're getting a bunch of our girls together to go ride down there and have some fun at that camp out too.
Yeah, we have a lot of new branches in Texas that have really like taken hold. They've got great leadership going on, and we're so super excited to see what's going to happen this year with Lubbock and Amarillo and Austin, and gosh, there's Temple now, Round Rock, and then Houston. Which Houston's a kind of a funny story for us because when we first started, Houston was where a branch that had already tried to start in Texas. And then when we tried to get a hold of them, you remember? Yeah, that girl told me I could go fuck myself. And like, they were very friendly, but they're not, that's not the Houston branch today.
Heather Patterson shouting out San Antonio. Tracy and I are definitely big fans of San Antonio. That's where we're based out of. But
San Antonio Litas are like kicking ass right now too.
They are.
if they ever need an event planner or a wedding planner, just
Trying to pimp me
Tracy
out.
can hook it up. That's
If
what
our
she
friend
needs.
Miranda's out there, just Tracy, did you hear that?
Oh yeah, she needs a wedding.
She needs a
planner.
wedding planner.
For a motorcycle wedding.
A moto wedding.
I'm here.
What was that dance? That's a
Okay,
motorcycle
so
dance. Wedding dance.
okay, so what is the one piece of gear you never ride without, or you try to never ride without?
Helmet.
You
Yes.
see these mugs? You see how pretty we are?
Yes. That's what I try to
Best
tell everybody
prevention,
too.
best wrinkle prevention. Full
Yes.
face helmet.
Also, I would say that they protect you from brain damage, but now that you've done a podcast with me, we know that's not true.
They only prevent additional brain damage. If you already had it to begin with,
I mean,
our DOT
You're not
helmets
wrong.
can't protect that. I'm right there with you.
We actually encourage them to wear smells that are rated.
We do.
Okay, so
The delay.
what, babe?
actually, I'm going to kick it over to you. I've been bogarting this entire conversation. Let's have you do some talking.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Tracy.
Holy crap, I can actually talk? No, actually,
Tracy, have you met our San Antonio Litas?
I have not. And I would love to. It is a little difficult for me because I work weekends. So it kind of makes it a little hard to like actually go do anything. But that was one of the things I was asking Jonathan is, how would someone like me find you? Where would I go if I wanted to hook up with a bunch of girls and do something like that?
We're social media all over Instagram, Facebook. I know some of them are kind of even active on Twitter and stuff, but all of them, as far as I know, post where they're gonna have
Facebook.
rides. Yeah, they're gonna post where the rides are. We post all of our rides and our events on our public Facebook page. It's also shared in our private page, and then Instagram has all of our stuff too. So I think all of the other branches post their stuff on social media as well. And links to that, you can find it on the national website. It's thelitas.co.
Yep, that's the national website. And that's got every country, every state, every branch, no matter where you want to go, you can find Litas where you're going.
Very cool. Very cool. How do you guys feel, like hypothetically?
Backyard. Yeah, we were just actually talking about going to that. Oops.
Uh-huh.
Am I supposed to answer?
That's so Andrea's one of the founders from San Antonio.
Oh, that's cool.
I think we missed your question with the delay.
Oh, no, totally fine. Now, I was going to ask is, for people like say Jonathan and I, we're out riding. How do you guys feel if guys do come ride? Is it mostly just you prefer it to be all girls just because you're comfortable with that? Or how do you feel about having guys come ride with you?
It's up to each branch. So each branch kind of has its own vibe and how they do things. So some branches are very family oriented and most of their rides are co-ed and like spouses and partners come along. For the Dallas Litas, we really only do a couple of co-ed rides a year, a few of them. And that's because we are in the middle of Dallas. We've got local, hog groups and all other kind of riding groups that people can ride with their spouses, but we don't have a lot that's just for women. So we really try to focus on building that sisterhood and putting together meet and greets and rides and stuff for women. Actually, our meet and greets are always co-ed. We always have them at a public place and it's co-ed. And so people can come, bring their friends, spouses, partners, whatever. But our ride, if it's a co-ed ride, we'll put it on the invite that it's co-ed, or we'll put that it's babes only.
Very cool. Yeah. And then, like, how do you guys decide where you're going to go? Does it take a while to plan it? Do you, do you put it out there and just whoever wants to be in charge of planning it, do it? Or how does that work whenever you want to go somewhere?
So we encourage everybody to plan something because everyone owns it. We might be founders, but everyone owns the Dallas Litas. So they can post rides and meetups and stuff like that. And basically where you get in, where you fit in, because some people do work untraditional schedules and can't always make the events. I know for our official meet and greets and our official rides, we try hard to support people that support us. So we like to do women business, women-owned businesses. We will tag on to bike nights with like Steve Bradford's always supported us from the get-go. So we do like a lot of
Motorcycle Maniac Productions.
Yeah, so we do like a lot of meet and greets with his stuff. Stephanie Sunker is a marketing manager for Harley and Maverick Harley. So we do like a ton of stuff with them. So we really try and support people that support us. And then as far as the rides go, this year we took a little bit of a different approach with our rides. And because of the Grand Tour of Texas.
The Motorcycle Grand Tour of Texas.
We have a lot of our girls are doing that. So our rides are to destinations that either are to those things on that list, or we'll pass by and incorporate those stops in. So like they don't have to feel like they got to take separate rides outside of a Litas ride. They're going to get those stops in this year too.
Very cool.
So I love that. I love the fact that.
But we get a lot of input from the girls as far as where we want to go, like destinations and things. They give us ideas.
Very cool. So I know, way back.
I think I lost your audio. Are you talking?
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I hear you.
You hear me now? Delay. Wait 30 seconds. Delay. Anyways, no. I just, I obviously with being an event planner, that's what I do all my life. So, or it feels like it. But I know that was one of the things that was hard to, when you're part of a group, it's like everyone looks to you to plan everything. And it gets old after a while. And I know, like, for someone like me, I'd want to go and I just want to show up. I'll help, but I don't want to plan anything. I mean, that's what I do for a living. I just want to go have fun. So that's kind of cool that if everybody kind of put together.
Some pretty huge events. Yeah, this year we have put together it's kind of like a suggestion box, but it's an event box to get people to be a little bit more.
It's actually a saddlebag, not a box.
It's actually a saddlebag, not a box. But there's where people can they're hosting the event, what the event's called, and it's got all the ride details. And if they're not comfortable posting it in the group, I'm going to take those after each event and post it online and put that person as a co-host, and it's going to share the ownership of what we are and make it even more inclusive, because you're right. It does kind of get to feeling like a second job a lot, especially for the huge events. Fortunately, I think we have a great group of girls, and anytime we need anything, I just reach out and be like, hey, you're good at this. You're good at this. This person. And they're like, hell yeah, I got it. And everyone can pitch in a little bit for the big events, but they're so time consuming when you do work full-time jobs. And so this suggestion box type thing is basically you put one in there, and that's now your event, and I'm going to post it, and you're the co-host, meaning you have to be there because people are going to go to you with questions and stuff like that. And it makes sure that all the events that people want to do and the rides that they want to do get met. They're options for people, and that everyone shares ownership of what we are, which is all inclusive for any girl who rides motorcycles. So this year, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, dude, what do you guys think about doing that? And when we did our planning meeting a couple days ago, we were like, hell yeah, let's do it. So yeah, shout out to Robin, who's making our little box thing.
Very cool.
So I'm trying to keep up with all of the different Litas chapters that are trying to check in. I've seen South Carolina, a boatload from Texas. I think I saw one from somewhere, maybe like Colorado, maybe. But there's a lot of Litas showing up. And that's really what I'm trying to focus on, is showing that women are out there riding. There's a lot of resources available, but no one really tells them where to go look. So we're hoping that our hangouts with y'all and some of the other ladies that we've had the opportunity to hang out with, it helps get that word out. Hey, if you're looking for a bunch of really cool people to go ride with that are all women, here's the Litas, go check them out. And there's probably a chapter near you, or there's this other group or that other group, whatever it is. But just being able to get the message out there. How do y'all do that when I know you have your Instagram and you have the different social media, but how do you get it out there to maybe older women who may not be on social media and who may not pay any attention to that? Do y'all post it up in like various dealerships? Maybe not just the Maverick Harley one, but maybe some of the Honda or some of the power sports dealerships as well?
So we have, and we're actually have a really good relationship with Moto Liberty, which is a store in Dallas that they cater to any kind of rider, any kind of bikes, but they tend to attract more like metric riders and sports bikes and European bikes and some really kind of cool stuff.
Audrey's always been cool.
Yeah, and so it's a female-owned business as well. And then, of course, the Litas are sponsored by Harley Davidson. So when they if people go through a ride class at a Harley dealership, then they usually get told about us. We like to leave cards or information at the local dealerships where ladies can find out about us and get in touch.
Very cool.
I know that when I first started riding, because I was wondering where all the chicks were, I would literally, if I saw another chick on a bike, I would just follow her like some psycho stalker.
Yeah.
And when they finally pulled over into like a gas
station, do sometimes too.
Yeah.
I did it one time, and I married the woman that I ended up meeting that night.
Yeah, well.
But I've definitely chased down women riders who they're like, "Who the hell are you?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're a chick that rides. I ride too. I'm also a girl, if you couldn't tell." And but now we carry our we have like these business cards, and before they developed into business cards with our contact information on it, so that people could contact us directly, we had these like Litas postcards. And anytime I carry mine with me everywhere that I go. They're always in my wallet. And so if I saw a chick, I could be at the grocery store and I see a chick, and I would just go approach her. And I've done that pretty much since day one. And I think that a lot of our girls share that kind of enthusiasm. And I think that like a lot of them have also chased down other girls.
Yeah, we're not the only one.
Yeah. And, I know when I first started riding, I was certainly more friendly and outgoing towards people probably than I am now, but I always carry my stuff with me and talk about the Litas. I know like a lot of girls probably that are listening to this show are like, "Oh yeah, I met Ace because she ran me down and I thought that she was a psycho and she ran me down at a gas station," or they were at a store buying a shirt and I ran up to them like, "Hey, you ride too?" So I think like a lot of girls probably share that experience with me personally. But I think a lot of our girls have that kind of enthusiasm, and they share what we are and who we are regularly. And because the industry is so male dominated too, and we have some really good male friends in the community that have been awesome with supporting us, up with bikes and coffee, and they
bring us women sometimes.
They do. They'll literally be like, "I know this chick, I told her about you guys," and then the girl won't even reach out to us, but they bring us the women. So that's been pretty cool. I mean, they hear about us through their husbands and all that, so it's word kind of gets out to people about us.
Yeah,
they usually get warning about us.
Is there a cost? Is there a cost that goes with the membership, like an annual dues or anything like that?
No, and that's one of our
Okay, come
our
on.
number one thing. No dues, no fees.
And no
Ever.
rules.
We don't think you should have to pay money to ride motorcycles with your friends.
Yeah, and honestly, like, let's face it, for women in general, like, aren't we always having to prove ourselves? And then you decide you want to ride a motorcycle and it's male dominated. So then you feel like you got to prove yourself even more. Like, sorry, we're not going to make you do this thing where
no prospecting
or proving yourself. Like, dude, it takes some balls to be a woman with all the social kind of pressures to get on the bike and do what the fuck you love anyway. So, you know, we don't have dues, we don't have rules, we don't really have titles. It's just like ride your bike and be a chick.
We really try a culture of like a supportive, you know, badass women relationship. And I mean, the idea of if you had to prospect like a club and women are coming in and you're judging them right off the bat, I don't see how you could ever build a sisterhood from that foundation.
There's already enough judgment.
Yeah.
I'll be very judgy.
So for us, and we don't, and that is not to say anything about MCs. That structure has worked for a long time and works for a lot of people.
And it works for some people. Some people love that structure and love the idea that, you know, people are, you know, walk through the fire.
Some women love that too.
That's fine. There's plenty of those out there, but there's not a whole lot of organizations like the Litas, which is to come as you are on whatever it is that you ride and come meet your new best friends and have some fun, raise some hell.
I think there's also an issue with the time commitment it takes to be in a lot of clubs, and the ideas, you know, for a lot of clubs, if you don't make events and stuff, you're fined and whatever. But as women, we are usually many times mothers or have homes and partners and businesses and all kinds of things that we're trying to do, and we want to support each other's hustle and not like shame you if you can't make an event, you know, because you're trying to grow your business or whatever it is going on in your life. So that whole club structure is just wouldn't work for what we are trying to do.
I love it.
One thing I think is interesting is there isn't a male version of this.
Really?
There isn't some international body of people who just go out and ride. You don't have a structure. You don't have, you know, the club mentality. It's just a bunch of people who just go out and ride. You know, it's like everyone wants to patch up or something like that. And I just think it's badass that y'all did all of this without having money in mind or trying to do anything other than build a community around like-minded women who have that passion for motorcycles. That's the one thing I think is badass.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Well, I think it's also like we're so relationship based that we don't really have the need for dues and to really make money and stuff like that, because I think everybody pitches in their talents, you know, and it does become a real legitimate community. I know that we've had friends, I myself have benefited from having these relationships, but like, you know, there's been several times where I've reached out to the girls and like, hey, this is not Lita related, but we have a friend that supported us in a bad situation. Can you help out? And, you know, when I went down, you know, the latest put on a huge fundraiser for me. I probably would have been homeless without that. And, you know, it's never been a thing about trying to make money or trying to make people be a certain way. It is very much about relationships because, I mean, honestly, let's face it, everyone's got a different set of beliefs. People live their lives so differently. And it's the one place that you can come as a woman where it's like, you're a chick and you got a bike, like you fit in automatically.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it gets rid of those social tags of you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a grocery store clerk. Right? You know, it kind of gets rid of all of those, and you're just a biker chick.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all are dying laughing there.
Rider.
We don't like Lady Rider, please.
No, but a lot of lady riders do like that, and they also like pink, so good for them, but not for me or her, probably
Not us.
I honestly don't.
I just want to be a biker. I don't really have to have a gender in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm like the furthest thing from a lady that you will ever meet. I'm very disgusting. So
I feel like lady is just a bad word. That's what guys would call each other whenever they're trying to, give each other shit. And I'm like, I hate that word. Just stop. Like, I don't let Jonathan call me a lady. I hate it. But yeah, I hear you. Hey, got a question though. Something made me think about it. I don't know why, but I feel like on Johnny's past podcasts and things that people have they have one way or another opinion on group riding. And personally, I love to ride with big ass group. And I was just wondering, how do you guys feel about that, and how does that work whenever you guys are out doing rides?
I don't think we agree on that.
On what?
Group riding.
Well,
here we go.
My opinion on group riding has changed quite a bit over the course of time. But as the official road captain, I used to love it, man. It was so much fun. It was so empowering and stuff like that. But as I've grown in my skill set and the rides have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and the sense of responsibility of everybody's safety, I personally up front I'm not really enjoying my ride anymore. I'm always checking my mirrors to make sure everybody's safe. Did I leave anybody? Every single light and stop sign, I'm counting riders to make sure I've got everybody. So for me personally, when I lead group rides, it's mainly because I've planned them, done the pre-ride to them. I always lead like a really pretty detailed and lengthy pre-ride meeting, so everybody knows what hand signals to look for, like where we're going, to keep everybody safe. So for me personally, right now, group riding has as empowering as it is to look at my mirror and see 60 women. It's not really fun for me anymore. I do love being out on my bike, but the whole time I'm like, man, I hope so-and-so checked her tire pressure because she's kind of dumb sometimes, or, like, why is that chick swerving? Like, did she eat mushrooms before the ride? Or like, or the new girl who I know has not many miles under her, but when I ask if anyone's new and they want to come up close, like, I know she's new and she's causing a big accordion effect, so like, these are things that I'm thinking of. I don't put on my music and just jam out and ride like I do with like a smaller group of people that I know can keep up or know where we're going and stuff like that. So my experience nowadays is a little bit different. Yes, it's empowering. I love watching the videos of watching all of us ride together. I think it's badass. But I'm so overwhelmed with making sure everybody's safe and not fucking up anything, like fucking themselves up mostly. I feel responsible for it. So it's not exactly super fun anymore nowadays, but she has a whole different take.
I love group riding, but I don't do any work. I just get in the pack and I put on my music and I'll just go. And I ride and I dance while I ride and I have a good time. That's like I feel like that's my time with the Litas, where I'm not doing Lita shit. I'm just in the pack riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny hearing Ace's checklist of her. So I was like, that screams Panther Creek Road Captain School 101.
I'm gonna blame that entirely on Ceci, because we did this new rider trip last summer, right?
Yeah.
And Ceci does come from Panther Creek Hog Chapter, one of them over there, right? Originally, before she joined up with us.
Yeah.
So she sent me this road captain manual, and like, I have a tendency to get in my head, so I'm like reading the fucking thing, and I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong this whole fucking time, looking like an idiot, and nobody said anything.
Because nobody knew. We didn't know either.
And so I read that, and now, and then we had a film crew. So like, yeah, I definitely got to make sure everybody's okay. And it just stuck. So yeah. Shout out to Ceci for ruining the joy of being road captain and now having to pay attention.
So Ceci, Tracy, and I were all road captains together.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Yeah, so we all went through the same academy of hazing together. So it was interesting. But it is nice and refreshing to hear
Wait,
that.
you know Bessie?
He knows it from the old days. Yeah.
Shit, I didn't pick that up till just now. Well, yeah, then you know exactly what I dealt with when people told me that fucking thing. It's okay. I made up for it on that trip. I threw a sweaty ass sock at her face. So
Okay.
there you go.
Here's just ask her about the bird to the chest incident.
Oh my God.
Bird to the chest.
Heard that story. Yeah.
That happened right in front of me. It was hilarious.
Yes.
She didn't
Yeah.
skip a beat.
I was on that
Bird
right
just
too.
crashes right into her chest,
A
bounces
big
off,
bird.
and she's just cruising along like nothing happened. I'm like, brawl
That's
of
just a badass.
steel.
She's got skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bessie ain't no punk.
So as we wrap up, I always
put her in charge of your office manager, and she's a no nonsense. She's like, I don't have time for y'all. This is what we're doing. Stay on track. I'm like, no.
So as we wrap this up, I always like to give our guests an opportunity to do any types of shout outs. And I know earlier, Doc, you were talking about a discount that I believe y'all get through LaPera, but because of the audio delay and everything, it was kind of jarbled. So if you want to kind of put out some of that information, like some of those folks that support you, give you guys a time to support them back.
Well, first I want to say Longhorn Harley Davidson this weekend is hosting an event that's our meet and greet for this weekend is going to be there. So we'd love to see you guys there. And of course, all of our local Harley Davidson dealerships, that's Texas Harley, Maverick, Longhorn, Black Gold, they all treat
awesome.
us great. So, but Longhorn this weekend, and then Moto Liberty is Audrey. Hey, Audrey.
We love Audrey. She has been amazing from the get-go, and it's a women-owned business. And
10% discount for Litas.
Yeah, and she knows her shit, man. She used to like fit racers for MotoGP. Like she knows what the hell is going on. So if you need gear,
and if you need to be fitted for a helmet properly.
Yes.
Moto Isn't Liberty. She a former really MotoGP racer?
And you don't get that experience when you buy your helmet off Amazon.
Yeah.
No, she used to fit them for their gear. Yeah, she used to fit those suits for them. I think she's the distributor, the only distributor for what is that brand? I forget the name of the brand, but it's
one of those like the Asian.
I keep wanting to say Tai Chi. Look, I don't know a lot about motorcycle racing, other than it looks really fun and good for them. They're going fast.
Yay, fast! We like fast.
But yeah, she used to fit those guys for their racing suits. So she knows gear, man, and you're not going to go to Amazon and you're not going to go to Amazon and get your helmet fitted. Like you can go there and try some, tell them what you're looking for, and they're gonna fit you for your helmet. Like, and there's no better experience than going out to Moto Liberty. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
And then one of our own, Michelle Craig from Change of Tides, 10% off for the Litas. They do quite a bit of ours. We have some matching tattoos. There's that one.
We got these
in our Cuss Club,
and we have a Cuss Club logo.
But we we're going to be doing another tattoo night with them. So if you guys like tattoos and motorcycles, kind of go hand in hand. Michelle's been a badass. She recently just got licensed too, and she's supposed to come ride Black Betty. So don't forget, because I know you're watching.
Yep. And then we have another Lita Pittman, and she has a V-twin tattoo in downtown, and she does strictly custom work. So Litas, if you're looking for a really special custom piece in a private setting, that's going to be somewhere to look into. Yeah. We've got enough to share the love there.
Yeah, and shout out to Steve Bradford too. He is become a close friend of ours too. He's got Motorcycle Maniac Productions. He puts on a lot of bike nights and stuff like that. But he has always been so incredibly supportive. Of what we do and who we are. And he tells every single woman rider, he always includes us in what's going on. Like he's just been really awesome for empowering us in the community. And he's also a victim of me chasing him down.
Yeah. True story. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been posting in the comments all night. So.
Dana in Missouri. The squirrely stripes pinstriping. He's going to be this weekend
teaching a class,
a pinstriping class and having pinstriping kits for sale at the Bombshell Biker event at Texas Harley Davidson this Saturday. And Litas will be there. Oh, sorry, Longhorn Harley Davidson, noon, and the meet and greet starts at noon.
Awesome.
Got it.
Well, I would like to
check our. You get to check our page for events and stuff like that too. We always keep that stuff announced there.
Okay, great. So I will try to find y'all's links to the Facebook page or the group page, as well as y'all's Instagram links, and I'll attempt to get them into the description for this video, probably tomorrow or Friday. But I would like to personally say thank y'all for coming on. I know it was, I think it was Brady who told me about y'all. It was actually, he told me about Amira. And so I started kind of Instagram stalking you and kind of figuring out, okay, I've heard that she's a badass. Let's see how badass she was. And then I saw the OMG photo. I was like, yep, that's the personality I need on my show. Now, I wanted to close this out with you guys helping explain something to me. How do a big group of motorcycle women end up doing a commercial where you're sniffing each other's armpits?
Okay.
69er pit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
What happened was
a few of us were at a meet and greet talking about it. We had actually seen this brand have these funny commercials on Facebook. And but we were talking about that. We just thought it was bullshit. If they knew the way we sweated and where we rode in the middle of, Texas summer, that this all natural hippie shit just, was not going to work for us.
Lavender oil.
So we wrote them and we told them that we were like, right. If your stuff really works, like, we have a proposal for you. And we told them that we were about to take this.
It was our new
new rider trip, and that we test the product out if they really wanted to test it out. So they did. They took us up on the offer.
Oh, cool.
And there was a lot more sniffing than just armpits on that
You
trip.
wouldn't believe what got cut out that was not included. Things you don't even want to know what was smelled. Just like...
It's disgusting.
And I'll just say that this product was created by a female gynecologist, and the original purpose was for women who have vaginosis, which
meaning you got crotch rot.
Crotch rot, yeah. So basically it stops odor before it starts. So whether it's crotch rot odor, your butthole's stinking, your armpits, your feet, like, it's gonna stop odor before it starts.
Yeah, so she wanted to take us on and was like, okay, not only are we going to send you some product, we're sending you a whole film crew. And then actually the owner showed up.
And then they went for the weekend. So
yeah, they went the whole weekend. It was pretty awesome. And the stuff ended up working, even though it's like.
And we were surprised. We didn't expect it to work.
Not at all.
No.
And no, we weren't compensated as literally your ass just doesn't stink when you use it.
It's true.
Compensation enough. So sincerely thank y'all again for coming on the show. Even though we did have a little bit of technical difficulties, we will totally blame Brady for that. Yeah. Sorry, bro. I can't blame them. But
not our fault. It's all you, Brady.
Yep. But to everyone else for showing up, thanks for tuning in to our very first episode of 2021. Ken and I will probably be back in 2 weeks. If not Ken, it will be hopefully Tracy with me once more. But thanks, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and great safe weekend out there riding this coming weekend. Good night.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Johnny and Tracy.
Bye.